Composting toilets are, in my mind, very simple, but I've never built a conventional toilet. A conventional toilet that everybody in the whole world uses and is very common, you use clean water. I find it disgusting to stick human waste, your feces, into clean water. That grosses me out, personally. So, a composting toilet, instead of using clean water, it uses dry material that covers up whatever it is you just made. The dry stuff is very important. You can imagine sometimes in a gas station, especially here in Ecuador occasionally, you'll go to a gas station and there's no water and you don't want to use the bathroom because somebody else just used it. And if 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people use it, it's a pile of shit. So, the same thing would happen in a composting toilet if you didn't have the dry material. The dry material is very easy to get. It's a mixture of leaves, sawdust, other sort of waste or excess material from farming, anything that has carbon in it. And to use the bathroom, you put the dry stuff on it. The next person comes, they use the bathroom, put the dry stuff on it. So that covers up the smell. It also is sort of the ingredient necessary to decompose fecal matter. Even with farm animals, you can't take a cow and use its poop directly on your plants. You want to first decompose it. Same with pigs. So with human beings, it's the same way. So the most important thing is this flush that doesn't come in a tube that you pull a lever and it just goes flush. So you have to have the dry stuff there. Then the process is very easy. It just decomposes. We have some very large composting toilets that you fill up one side, a giant chamber, and it takes about 6 months to fill up. Then when that's full, you start using the other side. There's another seat with another chamber. So you close off the side and you use the other one. And then it takes another 6 months for that side to fill. Once that side's full, you have 2 sides that are full. The first side is done. So then you take it out and you mix it with soil and you can plant trees, vegetables, anything. And it's not pure, you don't plant in the pure compost, but you mix it with soil and you plant your seeds. Then if you harvest those vegetables, you take them in your kitchen, you wash them, you either cook them or eat them raw, and it just completes the cycle. Whereas the flush toilet is throwing stuff away or pushing it further away and contaminating water and rivers. So that's the basic way that the composting toilet works. Here we mix both the urine and the poo. We put more dry stuff in to absorb that extra liquid, and I think that has to do with the educated user. If it's just you in your home, you learn how to point your pee forward and your poop backwards, and it's very easy to do, and I've used those types of toilets. But when you have that person that's never used one ever in their life before, it's a little bit weird if you also ask them to aim, as opposed to just sit and do your business. For private rooms, because we started the Black Sheep Inn with sort of communal bathrooms, and then when we wanted to make it a little bit nicer for the guests, we added private bathrooms. So we have composting toilets in the private bathrooms that are based on a barrel. It means that the construction's a little bit smaller, and it's our job, when anybody checks out, to take the barrel and empty it into one of the larger composting toilets. Or if somebody stays for 2 or 3 days, or there's 6 people in the room or something like that, you might empty it sooner than that. But in general, they don't fill up that fast. So it's a little bit of a transfer station that's more work for us, but we're staying with our standard of having a composting toilet in every room. In the composting toilet, there's lots of information. Most of the guests are not familiar with a composting toilet. It's the first time they've ever used one. So for that reason, we want to make them as clean and nice as possible, so that you have an unfamiliar user that's doing something like they might think it's weird, or they're not comfortable for whatever reason, because people are very uncomfortable about their physical condition anyway. So you try and make a very nice room that's very clean and have lots of instructions that informs people what it is, how to do it. It's not complicated. And then usually people are taking photos inside the bathroom, saying this is the coolest thing, this is, and you don't come here just to use our toilets, you come here for the scenery and the hiking, but you also have that experience of using something different and realizing like maybe this could work in other locations.